Hello people, so this particular video is about configuring authentication for SharePoint. So basically authentication and authorization plays a very important role in the security of SharePoint 2016. So in this lab we'll talk about authentication, claims, and how we can go ahead and can provide the certificates and configure the authentication infrastructure in SharePoint 2016. Okay, as you can see that we are in the SharePoint machine. So first I'll go ahead and work on my web applications so that I can extend it to a different zone altogether. That will be my extranet zone. So once I'll be doing this, then we'll be configuring some different things in my SharePoint machines. Okay, so let's move ahead. And now as you can see that I'm just selecting my web application and I'll be extending it to another zone. Okay, so now I'll be changing the port number here, and in your organization you can see which port is available. You can extend it to that particular port. So as per our labs, I'll be extending it to the port number 443, and I'll be enabling the secure socket layer so that the extranet side that we are using will be accessible on the secure side. That will be HTTPS. Alright, now for the secure socket layer, yes. And in the allow anonymous, I don't want to give anonymous accesses, so that's the reason it's set to no. I'll just click on save, click on OK. Change the zone to extranet. You can change to any custom zone or intranet zone or internet zone. Depends on the web application that you're using and where exactly you want to extend. Okay. So once this is done, I'll be going ahead and be going to my IIS to create a new certificate so that I can go and combine the certificate with the same web application that I have extended right now. Sorry. So that says that we'll go to the server certificate and create a certificate, and then I'll go ahead and bind the same certificate with my web application that I extended. Okay, so basically to provide authorizations to consumers of SharePoint 2016 content and services, regardless of whether they are the end users or the server platforms or any SharePoint add-ins, I first need to verify that they are who they claim to be. I need to verify their authorization. So basically, as I told that in this module we'll learn about the authentication infrastructure for my SharePoint 2016. Okay, and also we'll learn how to configure authenticated connections between SharePoint 2016 and other platforms. Okay, so in this, as I am doing it with the ADFS machine, you can do it with any other server as well. Okay, so now I'm creating a new certificate here. You can fill in the information that you want. Just give a friendly name to your certificate. You can know which certificate is it, and we can use it while we are applying the certificates. once this is created, I'll go to my sites, choose the same web application, the site, and then I'll bind the certificate with that particular site. I'll choose the 443, click on bindings, edit it. Now you can see that this particular site is being accessible on HTTPS. Okay, I will select the certificate and we'll choose the same certificate that I have done there. Once this is done, so I'll try to access the site now. I'll see that I'm able to access the site. Okay. So I'll try to access the site and I'll see that I am able to access the site now. Okay, so after completing this, I have requested a certificate from my Contoso certificate authority, Contoso CA, and extended the SharePoint 2016 site to an extranet zone. Now I'll be configuring the Active Directory Federation services to enable a web application as a relying party. Okay, I'll go to my ADFS machine, I'll open ADFS management, and over there I'll add a relying party trust. So here I'm adding a relying party request and adding so this is basically where we are adding a relying party trust, and I'm configuring it. I'll be adding a location from where, a passive protocol URL from where it can be done, and this is the relying party identifier, that is the URL name. So basically here, as you can see that we're working on a claim-based authentication. So for claim-based authentication supports a wide variety of core scenarios in my SharePoint 2016. That includes authentication of external SharePoint add-ins and services that rely on trust relationship with other server platforms such as Exchange Server, Microsoft Online Server, or any Skype or Skype for Business server. Okay, so While we are using claim-based authentication, it also allows SharePoint 2016 to present a claim-based identity token to other sources, such as a Microsoft SQL Server database, to access resources on behalf of a user. It also allows a third-party authentication provider, such as a Facebook, or create its own custom provider based on any application identity. Okay. And just a small update, in 2016, as we know that there is no classic mode authentication because it was deprecated in 2013, but still we can go and can create our application based on the classic mode authentication through PowerShell. But as for me, I won't go ahead and recommend it because the lack of support for features mentioned previously. Okay. So once this is done, I'm adding I'm just the attribute from where it will pick the attributes that is my Active Directory, and I'm mapping them together. And when it is done, I will be going ahead and will be adding this to line party trust, and we'll be working on this particular line party trust and adding the same certificate and sharing that certificate with my SharePoint machine, so that the machine can also access the same certificate. Okay. So I would like to tell you some points here. You might have seen something like claim, security token, issuing authority. So basically, a claim is an individual piece of information about a user. A security token is a serialized set of claims that is digitally signed by the issuing authority. Now, who is issuing authority? The issuing authority is the external identity management system that issues security tokens. And an STS is a web service that creates and issues digitally signed security tokens. Okay. And the line party is basically that is able to extract and use claims from a security token. After we configure a relationship between claims aware application and an issuing authority, basically register our application as a line party with the issuing authority. Okay. So see, I am extracting the certificate. Choose a file, choose the place where you want to save the certificate, give a name, and your certificate will be extracted. It will be copied to a file. So now I will be copying the certificate to the SharePoint machine. I'll be configuring my SharePoint 2016 to trust the ADFS as an identity provider. I'll be importing the token signing certificate that I have already copied on my SharePoint machine. we talk about zones in my SharePoint, there are 5 possible zones in my SharePoint: default, intranet, internet, extranet, and custom zone. And another type of authentication that is available in SharePoint is form-based authentication, and basically redirects unauthenticated users to a sign-in page where they can either enter their credentials, and an added form is also available to fill in the information that they are right to access. Okay. So the commands written with me, so I'll just copy and paste the commands, and we can save some time, and you can see the commands. So once this is done, I'll be mapping all the incoming claims to my SharePoint 2016 claims. Any claim that is coming from any other server or any other machine from my ADFS, I'll be mapping it with my SharePoint 2016 claims. Now this is basically where I'll be registering the ADFS as a trusted identity provider in SharePoint 2016. So basically configuring the server-to-server authentication. There are many features in my SharePoint 2016 that rely on secure exchange of data between a SharePoint server farm and other server platforms such as Exchange, Skype for Business, or even other SharePoint servers. So in each case, a server must be able to verify whether the other server is trusted enough that it can request information on behalf of a user or not. Okay, this particular process that we are doing here is known as the server-to-server authentication. Okay. Once I have done this, I'll be going ahead and configuring the web application to use this particular ADFS identity that I have created, that I have trusted in my SharePoint. I'll just go to my web applications, and in the authentication providers I'll choose this particular ADFS identity. And click on authentication providers. And the labs that I'm using, these are the Microsoft online labs. You can also go and you can have the access to them if you are in an MCT. And if you want to build your own labs, you need 3 different machines. One Active Directory machine, that is your domain controller. Second, the SQL machine, and third would be your SharePoint machine. And in this particular lab, you also need a 4th machine, that is your ADFS machines. So as you can see, I have my trusted entity provider as Kultoso Research ADFS. So click on save. For this, I'll simply go ahead and grant my users, grant the federated users the access to this particular site collection that is mapped with my web application. So I'm granting the access to this particular web application to the federated users, to the ADFS users. Okay. So Similarly, you can grant the access of any type of content to your ADFS users that you choose. Okay, I'll add users, choose the zone as extranet, add all the controls for research ADFS users. This is done. So we'll go ahead and check my SharePoint.controller.com, the web application and the site collection that I've created, whether it accepts the Controls for Research ADFS sign-in or not. Guys, over here I mistakenly signed in with a wrong user, so I just couldn't correct it. This is the wrong user. I don't want to sign in with this because I'm working with the ADFS, so I'll be signing with the ADFS user here. So I'll close it, open a new web page. So it'll be research/administrator. That's a user in my ADFS machine. And I can see that he has the access to the SharePoint site. So this is all for today. And after completing this complete thing, I have signed into SharePoint site at controls.com with a set of research domain credentials from a different machine, from a different server, because we have exchanged the certificates, we have built a trust between these two machines. Okay, that's all for today. Have a wonderful day ahead, and any suggestions you can post below in the comments. Have a good day.